All right. Hey guys, how's it going? It's Joy. I'm back again with another live. I hope that you guys are doing well and I hope that you guys are staying safe. You guys, this is not going to be too much of a long video. I just wanted to cover a topic here, and I do have one for Wednesday as well. Um, I wanted to just talk a little bit about really just finding yourself after narcissistic abuse. Because I know that a lot of us, we can lose ourselves after dealing with, abuse or trauma or pain, suffering, um, you know, just different things that could have affected you in a negative way. It can be really difficult to recover from that, and it can be difficult to kind of move past it and, kind of like be happy again or be peaceful or to find, contentment or just accepting it and just kind of learning from it, if that makes sense. Yeah, I just kind of wanted to talk a little bit about that. Um, how to find yourself and maybe why some people may lose themselves after dealing with abuse. So I guess we can kind of talk about how it is or how it may be easy for a lot of people to lose themselves after dealing with abuse. I guess because a lot of times people can feel like victimized. I mean, and technically you are a victim if you've dealt with narcissistic abuse, or it could be any situation. Doesn't necessarily have to be narcissistic abuse, but it could just be that you could have went through a situation. It really could have harmed you, or it could have really, you felt betrayed, or you felt misused or taken advantage of. You could have felt hopeless, helpless, and things like that. And after the situation, you could begin to blame yourself. You may have a pity party. You may be depressed. You could be stressed out. You may not want to do things. You may not want to like do your daily routine, like just getting out of the bed, taking a shower, dressing up, or, going to work and things like that. Like that stuff can be a challenge, right? It can be difficult to get on with your life, difficult to just do your everyday routine, or it could be difficult to, handle the kids or and things like that. And so that does happen. You can really find yourself feeling lost, because you could feel like, you deserve to be treated that way, or you know like you could have felt like that person was right in what they did to you. Like you felt like you deserved to be mistreated, or you felt like unworthy or unlovable. You could have felt, just um, undeserving of a healthy relationship or undeserving of good treatment. You could have felt like a low life or worthless, or, whatever the case was, and so it's easy to kind of get lost in that. And, maybe you don't have any positive role models around, or maybe you don't have any good influences, or maybe no one's really like encouraging you or motivating you to get back on the right track or to move forward in a positive way. Or maybe you're used to seeing negative or toxic or unhealthy relationships. There's, like I said, no role models around. And so again, you could fall in that downward spiral, and you could be trying to do things to make yourself feel better. It could just be trying to fill a void, right? You may hop into another relationship, or you could have sex addictions or drug addictions, or you could have spending addictions or eating disorders, right? Or just really indulging in behaviors that are just kind of not constructive and just kind of a negative influence. You get me? And so yeah, I just wanted to touch on that, and how it's really easy to get lost. It's easy to, kind of become like the individual that abused you and hurt you. So let's say if it was a narc that abused you, whether that was your parent or a romantic interest. It's easy to become like them and to treat other people that way that maybe had nothing to do with the situation, because again, you were hurt. You could just be trying to protect yourself from others. You don't want to feel that pain again. And you just you may have your guard up, or, you may, a defensive mechanism, right? um and you could find yourself in a really dark place, and you don't trust people. You're angry at yourself. You may be angry with a lot of other people. You feel out of control. um and you may just want to be a person that regains the control, and maybe you could be trying to make yourself feel better by putting other people down, or just filling a void. So I just wanted to kind of touch on that, how it is easy to get lost. But for me, how I found myself after the abuse, for sure was God. Like 100%. I just want to start with that. That has really been my foundation. Even now is my foundation, is like with God. Now, when I say that, I mean, I put him first in everything. So he is the center of all of my decisions. He's the center of my life. I talk to him morning, night, throughout the day. God is always at the forefront, right? So having that relationship with God really did help me. As always, and I do talk about this in most of my videos, was for sure doing the self-care stuff, right? And not just talking about it, but actually living it, right? Because a lot of people can say, oh, I do this, I do that. But, putting in those daily practices, is the biggest thing, right? So again, whether that's journaling, it's reading books, or it's exercising, or just stretching, or doing some form of movement that can help my body. Now, let's say if your body is not in a good state, let's say, you could be dealing with a lot of issues regarding your body, then, you might just want to do little things, like just little stretches, or just walking around, like around the house or around the block, can kind of help with different things, or just finding yourself, just trying to strengthen your physical body can definitely be helpful, as far as like just finding yourself again, because you may have different emotions that you could be feeling when it comes to like feeling lost after dealing with narcissistic abuse. And one of the things that's maybe could be helpful as far as the recovery is being able to be active, like moving your body, moving around, like whatever the case is, as long as it doesn't hurt, right? Because sometimes people could have that kind of pain where they're in physical pain and it really hurts them really bad. So you just want to be careful on that. But again, as far as finding yourself after this type of abuse, really just kind of figuring out who you are, knowing who you are, like knowing your personality, knowing like what makes you tick, right? Knowing your triggers, knowing what makes you happy, right? What makes you smile, what makes you feel alive, right? And then also knowing what makes you sad, what makes you down and out, what makes you depressed, what makes you stressed out, right? Also the types of people that you can be around, right? Can you be around one individual versus another individual? Like, also too, are you introverted or are you extroverted, or are you introverted, right? Just kind of finding that out. Are you sensitive? Are you emotional? Are you highly sensitive? Are you not sensitive at all? Do you kind of just, you don't let things get to you, and that's a natural thing? Like finding out about your personality, right? Also, another thing, finding yourself after the abuse is, as I always say, knowing your values. What do you value in life? What are your beliefs about life? Not based off of what you have heard growing up, not based off of what your parents told you, not based off of what people told you at school, not based off of what people told you at church. What do you believe to be true for you that makes sense and resonates with you, right? And that can go for whether that's relationships, that's about the world, it's about life, it's about maybe certain things when it comes to politics, or just everyday general life. Like what do you believe? What do you value? What are some maybe some boundaries, right? Or certain perspectives or viewpoints. What's your outlook on life? What makes you you? Finding yourself again, right? Right. And sometimes you may not want to do that, right? You may not be ready to do that because you could still be in pain, right? Sometimes it's physical, sometimes it's mental, sometimes it's emotional, sometimes it's psychological pain that you could be experiencing. And sometimes, and that's okay too, if you're not ready to explore that, then you have to give yourself time, right? But in that process of giving yourself time, you want to make sure that you're not hurting other people, right? You want to make sure that you're not using other people as crutches or using people to make yourself happy per se, or using people to fill a void, or using people to take away the pain that you might be feeling, or using people to for an addiction reasons, right? Like, using people for sex, or just for attention reasonings, or using people just so you don't feel alone or you don't feel lonely, that kind of stuff. Like, you just want to be careful, because always remember that for every reaction there's a instant for every like situation or perspective or situation, right? I know I said that, but every action is a reaction, right? There you go. So just be careful that you're always on the good side of karma, and that you don't do anything that's going to hurt someone or make someone feel bad about themselves, right? Because in the end, it's going to come back onto you, and then you're going to have that effect. So just be careful in how you deal with yourself regarding other people, and just generally speaking, right? So yeah, a lot of people have to learn that the hard way. But yeah. So yeah, you guys, finding yourself after narcissistic abuse, finding yourself, right? Also, it just has a lot to do with just spending time alone, you guys. I know it's not easy. Trust me, I know. I've been there. I've done it, you guys. So I know firsthand experience what it feels like to be alone. And a lot of people are like, oh, I've been alone and this different things like that, but maybe they haven't done it for like a long period of time, but I can tell you guys, I have been alone by myself with God and no one else. I'm telling you guys. And it's nothing like it. Now, I must say it's not fun, right? Like, it's not fun to be alone, but sometimes that solitary, that isolation, I guess you would say, or that alone time spent is definitely worth it, right? That's when you're going to find out a lot about yourself. You're going to find yourself when you're alone, because when you're alone, only thing you have is yourself, right? You don't have other people. You don't have other people's opinions. You don't have other people's belief systems, or whatever the case is. You're only have yourself. So you have your own thoughts, your own emotions, your own beliefs, your own values, your own morals, your own hurts, your own pains, your own sadness, or your own past traumas that you could have experienced due to situations, right? And that's it. And then when you kind of deal with that, like I said, this is not fun stuff. Honestly, sometimes, you guys, I don't like to talk about it because it's not fun to talk about, but but it's like you have to go through it, right? And now, again, trust me, like, I know it's not easy to deal with, like, let's say your demons or your triggers or your traumas, or your insecurities or your flaws, or whatever the case is. Like, nobody wants to deal with that stuff. But if you want to find yourself again, you have to. And it's a journey. It's a journey, honestly, you guys. And for me, it was the scariest thing I could have ever done, you guys. Like, I know it's going to sound weird, but putting my trust in God, you guys. And again, I don't want to do any spoiler alerts, because I did talk about this in my book. And make sure that if you have not gotten Your Pain Will Make You Successful, please make sure that you do get a copy of that. But When I was alone and by myself in my apartment where I used to stay, there was nobody there with me. No one but God. And at the time, I was scared to trust God because, as you know, we can't see God. We can only feel God. We can feel his presence, but we can't see him. We can't touch him. We can't like hug him, or we can't really see what it is that, a lot of us, what we believe in. And so for me, though, how in which I've gotten this way and how I trust God and I love him so much is because of how I seen him show up for me when there was no one there to show up for me. And so yeah, and then there was even a time when I was living in California and there was no one there. I did have sorry about that, you guys. I had one close friend that I could say she was my true friend. She's still friends with me to this day. We've been friends for over 11, going on 12 years now. But besides her, there was really no one else that I can call on at all. And she was there for me. I can say that. But besides God, of course, too, God was there for me. But when it was a time when I was going through a rough patch and I was living in my car for a month, and I remember one night I cried out to God and I was like, God, like, I need your help. Like, I don't know what to do. I can't go back to living with my aunt. I really, really, really want to get my own place. What do I do? And I cried. And luckily, had gotten enrolled into a program that helped, individuals get a place. So I was in the process of doing that, but at the same time, I was just like, God, like, I want to be in a place like tomorrow, like. And so, in that moment in time, I had to find myself. So sometimes to find yourself, you have to go through it. And going through stuff is not easy. It's not fun. It's not about smiling and laughing and sunshines and rainbows. It's not about that. Sometimes it's about crying. It's about anger and hurt and pain and traumas and sadness and loneliness. And sometimes we have to go through that. And it's not fun, So I just want for you guys to know what it is that you're dealing with when it comes to finding yourself again, because it's not easy. And yeah, they say the strongest survive, because not everybody survives narcissistic abuse. It's not a game, you guys. Just know that it's not a game. It's nothing to be played with, and it is something to be taken very, very seriously. So I just wanted to let you guys know about that. But so yeah, finding yourself. So again, being close to God, making sure that you are allowing yourself to feel your emotions, right? Feeling your feelings, as I always talk about, identifying your feelings and feeling it so you can move past it, but also allowing yourself, even though you're going through a rough time, try your best. Because again, and I never tell anybody what to do. I'm only sharing my experience, right? But try to enjoy life still the best way that you can. So if you have someone around you that's like, oh, hey, like, let's go out for a drink, or, oh, hey, let's go out dancing, or, oh, hey, let's go, just kind of go to the beach or something, or let's go grocery shopping, or let's go, I don't know, just let's do something fun. Let's go to the movies or something. Go ahead and go. I mean, that helped me. I know, like, when I was dealing with the abuse, like with after going no contact with my aunt and the male narc, my good friend of going on 12 years now, she would invite me to go out. And if I would have said, no, I don't want to go out, or, oh, no, I don't want to travel here, then I would have been depressed. I would have been stressed out. I would have self-destruct. I'm being honest, you guys. It's not easy, And I also talk about, too, like when I was dealing with the abuse, after I was finished dealing with the abuse, I remember every morning for 6 months, I would wake up and I would cry every morning for 6 months straight. And what I was allowing myself to do was to release. I had to release those emotions. I had to let it go, because when you hold on to stuff, you stifle yourself. You keep yourself stuck in the past. You stay there. Like, you don't allow yourself to move, right? And so that you can see how that's holding you back, that's keeping you stuck from being able to be happy again, to finding yourself again. Like, who am I? What am I all about? Who is this person? Who is Joy? Or who is the individual watching this video? What are they all about? What do they like? Who are they? What makes them them? What makes them their personality? How did they form that personality? Where did they get that from? What is it? What's the secret behind it? What's the mystery? You know what I'm saying? But sometimes people don't allow themselves to go there. So, if that's you, just try to open up again. Open up. Now, if you're not ready for it, like I said, by all means, take as much time as you need. But just remember that this is your life and only you can live it. I can't live your life for you. Your mom can't live your life for you. Your dad can't live your life for you. Your brother can't live your life for you. Your sister can't live your life for you. Your coworkers can't live your life for you. Your teachers can't live your life for you. Only you. Your boss can't live your life for you. It's your life. And that's another reason. That was another thing that helped me find myself. I'm like, I'm in this life alone. Like, I come in this world alone and I die alone. And that's why before, I used to be, like I said, I was afraid to trust God because I never knew what that was like, because God is omnipresent. He's everywhere at all times. But like I said, when I saw that he had my back, I was like, oh, okay, I can trust God. But the thing about also too, when you trust God, you have to live a certain way too. So you can't just be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna trust God and then I'm gonna do people wrong and then think I'm gonna get blessings. Like, no. That's not how that works. Like, God has to test you now. He has to try you to see if you're worthy enough to be his servant, if you're worthy to to be, I guess, his, like, in his particular group, or like following him, right? If you're worthy enough to be his follower, because God, like, God be knowing how people are behind closed doors. God knows your heart. We can't see people's heart, but God can see an individual's heart, right? So that's why sometimes it's easy for us to fall victim to narcissists, or it's easy for us to fall victims to toxic people, because sometimes people can present themselves to be a certain way, but behind the scenes, that's not how they really are. So God will always see, and he's always on the move, and he's always getting and serving justice and allowing people to deal with their karma. So trust me, no one's getting away with anything. Trust and believe that. So always keep that in mind. But yeah, I hope that is making sense as far as finding yourself after narcissistic abuse, right? It's easy to get lost. It's really, really easy for us to go in a downward spiral. It's easy for us to go in that dark place and for us to stay there, like, because in your mind, you'd be like, well, why would I want to do anything else? Because I already been through this situation. So why do I need to better myself? Why do I need to improve myself? Why do I need to do all these things that I know that I need to, for what? Let's say, you lost a person that you cared about, or you lost a loved one, God forbid. And if you did go through that, I'm really sorry. My heart does go out to you. But let's say also too, you lost a relationship, or you could have lost, a particular gig or something, or you had to start over in life, or you get what I'm saying? Like, it's easy to allow that situation to define you. Or let's say you was diagnosed with something like a condition or whatever the case is. It's easy to identify with that, but what's more meaningful and what makes you get back up is when you don't allow a situation to define you. When you are able to say, hey, you know what, that did happen to me. And yeah, it hurts, or yeah, I felt betrayed, or I felt heartbroken, but I have a life to live and I'm going to live it regardless if that happened to me or not, So yeah, that takes courage. So try to have some courage today. Try to be inspired today. Try to be motivated. I'm just saying, try. I'm not telling y'all what to do. Y'all know how I be. I'm just saying. But you guys get what I'm saying? Like, You have the power, you guys. Don't allow anybody to have your power. When you stay stuck and you allow a situation to control you, you're giving that situation power over your happiness. You're giving that situation power over the present moment. You're giving that situation more authority than it needs to have. You have the power, you guys. You don't have to allow, just because you felt mistreated, and it's very valid. If you felt mistreated or you felt taken advantage of, you felt harmed. Hold on, y'all. We good? Okay. If you felt that way, it's okay to feel those feelings, but at a certain time, you guys, you got to move past it. You can't allow it to be your whole life where you're just harboring over the same situation that has already occurred. You got to move past it eventually, because if not, then it's almost kind of like you're okay with the misery. You're okay with depression. You're okay with being stressed out, or you're okay with just unhappiness. And it's just like, we're all going to die one day. Like, you don't want to live like that. You get me? So you might as well live the best way you can. So anyway, you guys, I know this is a different video, but I just thought that I'd share it for those that needed to hear it. Again, my journey regarding, overcoming and finding myself again after the abuse was not easy, you guys. And it wasn't easy at all. And I'm still like, wow, God, you was with me the whole time. That's why I said I love God so much, because he never left me. And God never gave up on me. When other people gave up on me, God never left. And that's why I love God so much. Like, he is everything to me. Everything. Another thing that I love about God is his love is so unconditional. Like, I never had unconditional love from anybody in my life. Anybody. But God has unconditional love for me. And that's why I can never turn my back on God, ever. So, but yeah. But yes, you guys, I'm just trying to see what else regarding, finding yourself. Finding yourself is, you gotta go inside of yourself, dig deep. You gotta go and find who you are again. You got to. You have to. There's no other way for you to live. That was for me. Like I said, I'm not telling anybody what to do. That was what resonated for me. You get what I'm saying? And yeah, I just found that helped me, and just kind of, again, accepting that, like learning that, again, I can only control myself. I can't control nobody else. Accepting the past for what it was, not trying my best not to dwell on it. Because again, I understand, like, when you deal with situations in the past, it's so easy to like beat ourselves up and punish ourselves and be like, oh no, I don't deserve this, and oh no, I can't be happy, or oh no, like, I don't deserve this person, or I don't deserve to live like this. And or let's say you lost something or somebody, oh, should I live now? I mean, this is just, for what? Why do it? Kind of thing. And it's just like, how did you think before the situation happened? And as I said, everybody reacts to abuse differently. Everybody has different responses. Everybody has different emotions, different reactions. And, you just want to keep that in mind, So anyway, you guys, I hope that made sense. I don't want to drag this on too long. I want to keep the energy up. But sometimes, like I said, you do have to talk that's not popular, some things that are tough, and some things that are not comfortable to talk about. But I always want to make sure to bring it to the surface. So anyway, I love you guys. Give this video a like, share, and subscribe. Be sure to leave any feedback, leave comments. If anything you felt like I missed, please feel free to share it. Just finding yourself, finding, like the good in you, right? Or maybe some things you need to improve on, and just working on improving that and not judging yourself for it, finding yourself is just, finding God and finding your truth. Like, what's your truth? What makes sense for you? What, connecting with the right people, right? Being around good people, being around good friendships, good energies, good vibes, and just leaving the negativity alone, leaving the negative vibes alone. You get what I'm saying? And just enjoying life. So anyway, I love you guys. I'm gonna give everybody a hug. Hugs. Hug everybody. All right, I love you guys. And I will see you all in the next video. Take care. Bye.